Turning to the shackled line. With behind you a goblin mounting a warg with two smaller goblins on either side of him. In the chain line, there are three other people. One is a middle-aged noble with about mid-length brown hair and a face-hugging beard. He stands relatively tall and broader than average. He's very clearly well-built. With the second being an older man, seemingly falling out of his prime, but he still kept himself fit. And the last is a young woman, probably in about her 20s, shown by this. And she's got shoulder-length blonde hair and parted to one side. And she definitely seems like she's quick with her fingers.
Mr. Wolfshed, if you look at the Roll20 screen, we're actually all arranged in order. The right side is the first one, and then...
I don't mean in the chain game. I mean who's been here the longest, who's been here the shortest.
Ah, yes. Let me have a... Well, I mean, let's see. I can just compile the quick thing.
Well, Milo has been here for about a week this time.
I thought I compiled a list, but I guess I didn't. Okay, I'm gonna get it into chat, kind of. Here I was thinking I did have a list. God diddly damn it.
I knew I'd find a chink in your armor.
God damn it. Saw through the lies of the Jedi.
These are not the slaves you're looking for.
These are not the slaves you're looking for. Correct me if any of this is wrong in this list, but... And this should be also in numerical order. Damn it, really are a lot of these.
It's an all-star cast.
All right, I think that's everyone, and that's how many days they've been captured. So
I don't think I've been there 12 days, but I'll take it.
No, you
7.
You have. You've been captured 12 days. You maxed the dice roll.
All right.
So very nice. Am I missing anyone there? I don't think I am.
Nope.
I'll confess to being there.
Yeah, I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
The day was shaped up. Thought I was here for a week, but I'm only 6 days.
So, you're walking in this shackle line, you know, chains are rustling, all that kind of stuff. If everybody would like to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, joy.
So,
Freezing my little ass off.
Of course, if anyone has... Oh, remember ats, gentlemen, too. That's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
as now everyone.
We're off to a banging start.
If anybody has cold resistance, does anybody have cold resistance or a racial trait that like makes you acclimatized to colder temperatures?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, the tabaxi maybe. I mean, they have fur.
Yeah,
I
that's.
think
but,
either Tabaxi or Blue Dragonborns or whatever Dragonborn's ice.
Blue is lightning. I should know.
White and silver is cold. Yeah, Tabaxi I know don't have a cold resistance. And that for certain nobody's immune to it, so you'll did really well in those rolls. You did really well. Milo, Kalian? How do you want that pronounced?
Callian.
Kalian? Yeah, so Milo, Kalian, it's Muddle, and Samuel, you'll receive a point of exhaustion. You should have the exhaustion tracker on your sheet. Because the air's just too damn cold. It's too damn cold. Feel free to discuss amongst yourselves what your character looks like, how they're faring, and etc. And since I'll orchestrate the whole damn thing, we can go down the line. Milo, what does your character look like, and how's he faring in this cold?
Well, Milo is of a deep persuasion. He's roughly about 2.5 feet tall. He has, well, normally he usually has a very wide brim kind of top hat. Whether the goblins let me keep that or not, I'm not sure. He has a rather kind of billowy outfit to him, much more lighter traveling clothes for warmer climates, and currently has his face done up in a bit of a skullish look to it, but after so many days traveling, that's likely started to smear and wear off by now. And he is currently shivering as these chains are very both chafing and quite cold.
And Alnith?
So, shivering in the cold, not very used to this. And just obviously a more slender frame, not very built for this kind of weather. You could see the green tint to the person's skin, standing fairly tall at a good 6 feet, as well as very odd milky blue eyes as well, and more of a sharper ears, with the green hair waving down her back.
Okay. My Tabaxi brother, who is maybe gonna speak.
Yes, he looks like he was wearing, the clothes were brighter at some point, but 9 days of crawling around the mountains has left him looking kind of shabby. Yeah, I mean, he looks like a darker furred panther, slightly look, with like gray mixed in with it, but slender, like 5'3" or something like that, but compact little cat guy.
Oh, I actually probably should have mentioned this. What did you say was the height of Milo?
He's about probably 2.5 feet.
Alright, the snow's coming up to his waist.
Oh, shit. I'm in the...
In this particular area. It hasn't been for a while, but it seems like the wind's picked up, and this is actually getting higher. I completely forgot that we had a gnome in the party, and so I actually made the snow height for this specific section a foot high.
Oh, thanks for being so considerate to the short folk.
So
We have goblins leading us.
you're wading through the snow, but it's like, it's been cold all day anyway, and the prior days have been cold just as much, and so it
How the
hasn't.
goblins faring? They're on similar size.
Yeah, they're basically exactly the same.
All right.
That it's basically up to their waists as well. Callian, if you want to explain your character. How he
Alright,
looks.
so this guy's pretty tall. He's 6'8". Pretty tall. He has dark hair that ends in like silver lining. He's got olive skin. He's pretty young. He's probably in his 20s, 30s. About 20s. He's wearing. We're allowed to wear armor, right?
I mean, he's wearing common clothes at the moment.
Oh, okay.
In his chain line.
Okay. He's looks pretty shabby. Is it short or long sleeve? Sorry. I'm gonna say long sleeve. He's just walking like he's shivering his ass off. He looks pretty pissed. That's what I got. It's not great, but whatever.
Pretty good. Ruka.
Ruka stands at about 5'6" or 5'7", is wearing a set of commoner's clothes. It looks like he's worn them for a lot of his life. They're very well cared for, and there's a lot of like neatly done patchwork on all the parts of the clothing. It's seen a lot of wear and tear. Face-wise, he looks he looks like the picturesque version of an elf, like slim, angular face, shoulder-length blonde hair, very long, pointed ears. Is currently kind of smiling a little bit, and he's seems to be enjoying the snow, considering that 20 in Constitution saving throw.
Well, doesn't bother him anyway.
Cold,
All
everybody.
right.
Anyway.
Raylo?
Yeah, so you see a figure about 5'10", kind of a slender build, but seems somewhat muscled underneath his makeshift clothes. He's got long, straight charcoal black hair, and his skin probably looks pretty bad from everyone else's point of view. It's like a pale gray color at this point, and he looks very solemn and kind of at the mercy, I guess, of his current situation.
Which is funny, because if anyone is looking at Raylo, you actually hear a swift... Does anyone speak Goblin?
I do. Raylor does.
Does anyone else? Or is it just Raylo?
Nope.
No.
Very clearly the Goblin that whipped you said, filthy stinking drow.
Fantastic.
But it was a light tap. It was a light tap, wasn't an actual attack or anything like that. It was just like a get moving. And,
I ignore it.
Yeah, Samuel.
I feel like you have to. But yeah,
Yes.
Samuel.
Yeah, Samuel's human, stands about 5'10". He looks haggard, scarred, has a haunted look to his eyes. Looks like he's led a long, hard life. He appears to be older for a human, and he wears very ragged and tattered clothes. Looks like maybe at one time he could have cared, but he no longer does. And he's cold.
Okay, give me 2 seconds while I close the goddamn door because someone's just started vacuuming. Alright, I beg apologies. So while you guys are waiting, you're shivering in your shackle. Up front, so Milo, Alneth, I mean basically the whole group can hear it, but only like really solidly can the front four actually like make out, like goblin words. But it just seems the 2 goblins in front are just like bickering, and then one of them like tackles the other into the snow, and the march just comes to a halt as they're just like scrabbling they're going at it. You're just like, like they're starting to pull each other's hair, and they're getting really rough. And what does everyone do?
When they begin just their scrap, is anything knocked loose? These front ones have any keys, perhaps, during this walk, or are they just their own personal effects?
Wait, what? I like.
These goblins, do they have any? They have the personal effects, or have we seen the time here that these are key holders?
All you can tell is, I mean, they dropped their scimitars just then to get all rough and tumble, and they're hiding a key in that loincloth. I'd be concerned. So,
Well, I mean, Milo for now. Not seeing any real point getting involved. We'll let them scrap amongst themselves for the moment.
you still hear that as he's just getting choked out by the other one, like in a full-on like headlock kind of thing. You can't really tell if it's playful or like malicious, but they're definitely going at it.
They're at it again.
I'll whisper to the big guy behind me and the elf there that those two guys hate each other's guts. That's Barf and Nork. Nork's the bigger one.
There's very clearly like there's very clearly a goblin that's like he's a good 6 inches taller than the other goblin, and the other goblin's looking a bit scrawny, and like in this little scrap right now, he's just kicking the little one's ass.
I don't know if the big guy speaks elf, but I'll speak in Elven, so that if the goblins over here, so I don't know what I'm saying. Sorry if you don't speak Elvish, big, huge, bulky guy, but there's a lot of pointy ears on the line here, so it seems like a better choice.
Which is funny. As you were you whispering this to those guys?
As much as possible in a blizzard.
Yeah. If you'd like to give me just a stealth check at disadvantage, because you would have to like try and whisper but keep it over the air of the wind.
Not bad. Oh wait.
That beats all the goblins' passive perceptions. Yeah, you're able to whisper it without anyone noticing. But that also means, does anyone in the line who you were whispering to have a passive perception under 12?
I mean, mine's definitely higher than that.
Yeah, no, I think Ruka, you hear what he's saying. I think Callian, you missed bits of it. And do you speak Elf, Callian?
I do not.
You don't? Okay. You just hear like whispered jumbles. Whereas Ruka, you actually hear it quite well, and Raylor, it does actually reach you, and you're able to also hear
Okay.
of him saying of these two goblins. At this point, have you stopped? Has everyone sort of like stopped moving while these guys are rough and tumbling that were leading the track, or did you guys just keep marching on?
I'll sidle up to the big human and like rub up against him, like try and get warm. Assuming he's producing more body heat than the other people. So.
You can attempt to get closer to him. As you go to ruffle up to him and get a bit closer, some body heat and whatnot, the 5-foot chain in front of you talks real tight from just the noble in front of you, like trying to power through and keep walking. And you even hear him like, I don't think it's time for canoodling. Perhaps we really should get to warmth. I feel like the more we walk, the more likely our body heats to circulate, and we're gonna be able to not die.
I look around the desolate mountains for what kind of cover he's looking for, and just kind of glare at him like an idiot. Wait, I mean, I don't want to hurt him, but I could vicious mockery him because I can still use that at will.
Injure him by yelling at him.
Is that a vocal thing?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's-
verbal only.
It's verbal only
dramatic.
cantrip.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can. I don't know if you're going to. If you're going to, just tell me.
You could literally yell down all the goblins to death.
So they don't
given
catch
that
on,
given that
stick
the
you.
goblin and the warg don't just eat him afterwards.
Yeah, I know, but it's a funny visual image.
It is a funny visual image.
Makes me wish I'd practiced throwing my voice so I could make it look like the Nomal's doing it to everybody, and then nobody could.
If possible, Relor will try to call out over the sound of the blizzard in Goblin, and he'll say, "Start walking, you fools, or we'll all die."
They both sort of like snap up first as they hear you, and like they look at each other, and then they look at the front of the line, and then they look at the goblin in charge on the warg, and like Nork just pushes Barth over, and he's like, and he whilst looking at you, doesn't even look at Barth, he just like pushes him. He just picks up his scimitar and walks back to the front of the line. And Barth like looks at you, and he gives like a smile with like all the mangled teeth, and is not attractive, and then walks to the front of the line.
It is not attractive.
Oh no, it is not attractive. That's not even a face a mother could love. That's genuinely like, if you saw that late at night, you'd be like, honey, get the shotgun.
All right.
This is a good time. This actually. Let me just get a fat D10 roll up in here.
Yeah, it's a pretty chunky D10 there.
Okay, Ruka.
Yes.
Ruka, you hear from the back, from the goblin on the warg. I mean, everyone hears this, but Rook specifically. You hear, stop! First common word you've ever heard ushered from this warg goblin, and it's just stop.
I look towards him. Is he saying it like to me, or is he like trying to get everybody to like hear him?
He yells again, stop!
I will also yell stop, and then I will attempt to put the brakes on the train. I don't really know if my body weight is high enough to be able to stop the Goliath.
Chain train!
We have Mr. 6'8" running me behind just track.
So yeah, does everyone stop, or do
Yeah.
you keep marching? What's going on?
Yeah, I'll stop.
Immediately.
Might as well
stop.
definitely stop. It keeps me from moving through more snow.
I don't want to.
Okay, so as you all stop, everyone sort of stops. Nork actually comes up to Ruka and just looks you in the eye, Ruka, and just goes, "Surprise search."
All right.
If you would like to roll me a dexterity stealth.
I knew it was a mistake to.
That's given if you're hiding your ring. If not,
I mean, I figured that it looked like trash from what we described it as.
I mean it does, but it does, like, it's one of those things where it very clearly would hold magical properties. Like it's got like a little bit of an inscription kind of thing on it. You know what I mean?
Why wouldn't I have it in my mouth if it's made out of wood, though?
I mean, I don't care where you've got it or whatever.
But yeah, okay.
Yeah, you can have it wherever. It's just like the stealth check is just if you're going to attempt to hide it, roll me that dexterity stealth check.
Alright, yeah, sure, I mean, I guess.
whilst covered in that.
Oh my god.
Does he even look?
Hey, that's pretty good.
Wow, is that with advantage?
No, it's the auto roll advantage on the NPC stat rolls.
Okay.
Yeah.
You rolled really well. That's troubling.
Luckily, he doesn't actually find anything. And he goes, He turns to the war goblin, and in goblin, there was nothing here. What do we do? And the war goblin just simply replies, search another one. And Nork looks up, shrugs. All right.
I'm looking directly at the guy. Like I'm staring down.
And he walks to Callian, looks up, and then just immediately walks past him to Itzamadal. He just, surprise search! And rubs his hands together.
Oh, God.
Bend and cough. Very nice stat roll. Very nice. Alright, well that was a nat one. As he goes to search you, he actually trips. Falls face first into the snow, wipes it off, and then just goes, "You tripped me!" And then just completely forgets about the entire search. And so he walks further down the line, or further up the line, before he reaches Alneth. And he looks up to you. He goes, surprise search.
I don't like how he said that.
And he's got the most crooked smile on his face.
Cringing and recoiling from this creature.
He starts patting you down, searching you out.
I'm singing, and if that happens to give inspiration to Alnith.
I mean, Alneth already rolled the dice, but you can still, you can throw inspiration at her.
Yeah.
They'll,
If she wants it.
Yeah, they'll have inspiration.
I'll definitely take it.
Yeah. With that performance roll, you do whistle a good hum. You probably you definitely get into it before before one of the goblins at the back with the whips just shut up, and whips you to sort of keep you quiet. So you can get a nice boding well of inspiration. This Nork, pats you down before he pulls out of your boot a small sharpened piece of bone, points, and just cram it out, and then runs back to the war goblin. He goes, cram it out. And Raylor, you hear this. Everyone else hears muttering. You hear. Found this bone. It's sharp for killing. Criminal. And the warg goblin sort of comes off the warg, looks towards Alneth, takes the bone out of Nork's hand, and pushes it. And everyone else can see this, but only Raylor can understand it. he points to himself and goes, "Spleen in charge. Spleen found bone."
God.
And then gets back on the warg. And like he like puts it in his loincloth. Like his little loincloth pouch. And then like yells to the goblins, again, all in goblinoid. "What are we doing? Keep moving, goddammit!" And they also like jump at the ready, and just both whips from the goblins either side of this wall just they come down. Like one hits Samuel, and the other one hits the woman in front of him. And does the march re-begin?
Milo is going to just stand in place for a moment and let the rest of the line come up and bump into him, fall over into the snow a bit before getting back up. As he does, he's going to just take a handful of snow.
You doing that stealth? Like, are you doing that stealthily?
I mean, I just fall in the snow and I grab some snow. I'm not sure if I'll think that's too big of a threat.
No, like I just want to know your intent. Like you as is the character attempting to like hide the fact that he has this ball of snow?
I guess I will. And if I'm caught, I don't think it's gonna be too big a thing.
Yeah, if you wanna roll a stealth check, probably fine. The goblins either don't notice or they just don't care. And they're they continue to march.
I think I was asked in text earlier. I don't think either I just didn't hear it if it was answered. These shackles, are they blocking us from doing like hand motions for spells?
Yeah, the shackles. I mean, they're not hand It's so the shackles will prevent you from doing the somatic components of a spell, only because you don't have the wide like berth of hand movement kind of thing. So like for instance, if
I was gonna try to drop the snow because
like say that
the cast ice knife.
I mean, yeah, like say the spell like couldn't you say the spell like you required your hands to like go wide or for whatever reason kind of thing. They are preventing. You can still do like hand motions kind of, but it's essentially you're walking with your hands together. Like they're always like flat palmed sort of together kind of thing.
All right, then so Milo is going to just do nothing until these shackles are off. So all my things at the very least have somatic.
He's the two goblins in front, Barf and Nork. Barf, you or Alneth being like constantly eyed by Barf, but with fear in his eyes. He constantly keeps like he'll be walking and then like get slower as he looks back towards you, realize he's slowed down, and then be like, "Huh." And they keep going, and this is happening repetitively for like up to an hour. Which is funny that I say that, because if everybody would like to give me a Constitution saving throw.
So we're all gonna die in the snow. Because then with exhaustion, we all roll disadvantage. But not ability. That's a.
No, I'm feeling the cold.
I'm feeling the cold.
Shivering.
Oof.
What do you have an advantage there? Elian?
Is it fine if I use the left one? Do you want me to go back?
Yeah, that's fine. You don't have to re-roll it. I was just like,
I just switched it because like.
Yeah, no, that's right. You use the first roll for the roll first doesn't matter. Okay, so Ruka and it's a model. You suffer an additional point of advantage. Jesus! An additional point of exhaustion.
The cold is starting to help you.
And in the cold start, you're going inverse. You're like, God damn it, I feel strong.
It's just so warm. We gotta take off all our clothes.
It's so warm. I gotta take off all my. Ooh.
That's everything.
It's getting to about midday. You guys have been trekking literally for probably about I'd say probably about 4 hours would be my guess. You're definitely getting worked up. But as you go on, the goblins all like halt, and Nork in front like puts his hands out to stop Milo from just like blatantly walking into him.
What now?
Sit,
Sit.
everyone.
Oh.
Sit.
When he says that, I'm gonna just stare like uncomfortably long until he says it like a little bit louder.
Sit.
Finally sit down.
Milo is not going to sit right away. He's going to take the time to brush the snow away with his boots, so he has a clean spot to sit down. And then after enough time has passed, he feels like, I'm sitting because I want to, not because he's telling me to. Milo's going to sit down.
I sit down.
Nork walks over to the warg goblin. He takes like 3 logs, like shortcut logs, like just sort of like puts them in a bit of a triangle shape, and like just sits there slamming a rock into another one. And you just
Milo will call out loudly. You know, if you're having trouble with that friend, I could get that started right quick.
he like looks up, looks back down. And you even Raylor, who like he's more like down the line near Raylor and Luca and like Callian and stuff. You almost like you hear him mumble to himself a bit. Raylor like
Stupid gnome. Think he helped Nork.
He seems like.
Can I make a
rather
survival
insecure.
check?
and he
Is
what
he
was
using
that?
the right kind of rocks to start fires?
You can make an intelligent. Oh, you can make a survival check if you'd like to.
Yeah, I
whether
do.
He's using the right type of rocks.
How about that?
He is very clearly just using 2 pebbles he found,
I internally groan.
and he's not going to have a fire started anytime soon. For anyone who was present when they had the day's rest, the warg goblin actually came down and lit it with a tinderbox that's on the warg. This just seems to be Nork trying to prove himself.
I whisper to the guys closer to him and tell him he's so smart that you really think he's doing a good job, and then like do it for him. But tell him it's him. Convince him it's his idea, not yours.
They still
Uh,
were you telling that the people or the goblins?
Tell him the elves people behind me.
Oh yeah.
And I'll
Relor-
I'll give you inspiration for trying to trick him.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean you could do that. Yeah. The great thing about inspiration. How long does inspiration last, by the way? It's like what, 10
I
minutes?
think
10 minutes,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
Yeah, I'll know
it's
inspiration
D6.
worn off, but Raylord definitely it's still there.
Sure, yeah. Relor will, in Goblin, kind of call out to Nork and say, you know, if you go ahead and get what was the war Goblin rider's name? Spleen or something?
No, you want to tell him it's his idea. Don't. He's not going to do anything if you diminish him. You want him to feel like he's
Feel
like, you're
accomplished.
yeah, you're great. You're doing such a good job. Mind if I like help? You know.
The Tabaxi yells at the goblin in common. You're doing fine, and the goblin's he's scared by enthusiasm. No, you've caught his attention, Raylor, and he's sort of like looking up,
Yeah.
like holding the 2 stones, and he's just like,
I'll just kind of say, you're doing a pretty good job. You know, I feel like you could probably use a little help. Usually takes a set, another pair of hands.
And like turns around and like just has his like he's just got his like arms crossed. And he's just Nork needs no help. And he stays there solid for like a good 6 seconds before he turns around and goes, What advice have? As he like just sort of like he's still like his arms crossed and like faced away and like huffed and stuff, but he sort of like he peeks around and just sort of what advice have?
I'm gonna say maybe if you had another set of hands to help you with these rocks.
What?
You know,
Nork only
more
have 2 hands. What?
better work. I have 2 hands. Everyone in this line has 2 hands.
That's a good idea.
And he walks up, puts the logs underneath the chains, and then starts hitting the rock with the chain. And just
I give Rello a real theatrical thumbs up on doing a great job. You're a real winner. You're
winner.
All place we're gonna die. It's 'cause we're gonna be proud to just ask for help. Joy.
And then he stops for a bit. He's like, and then gets back down. And he's going at it for a good solid time.
I'd like to ask, can I spot a, piece of, like, flint anywhere? I mean, I know it's covered in snow, so the chances are very unlikely, but...
You can't, but, roll me perception with disadvantage, because if you get, like, a hella good roll, I'll let you... because, like, you would, I'll just say that you've, like, wafting with your feet kind of thing.
Not very good. I've rolled twice, because I forgot to hit the advantage.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It's a 13 anyway. You definitely feel a stone, like, when you're sort of, like, pushing under the snow with your foot. And upon picking it up, roll me a d10.
What
8.
does Nork have? Sorry,
Well-
go ahead.
Well, damn. You pick up a stone. Looks nice. I don't think you have like a stone cunning or like any form of rock-based knowledge.
I'm just looking for a good fire starting flint, I'm like, if it isn't that, I'm just gonna drop it.
well. If you pick up a rock, you're probably not gonna make any friends with the captors.
You look at the stone, and you sort of like rub it with your thumb a bit, and definitely has a flinty steel. Flinty steel? A flinty feel.
Nork's like really close to us, right? He's like
Yes,
came over
yes,
to
no.
buy the chains.
Nork
Yeah.
is legitimately between Ruka and Raylor using the chain between you guys to hit the stone.
Yeah, what does he
Okay.
have on him besides
I'm
the
gonna-
stones?
Well, Nork?
Yeah.
Nothing. He dropped his scimitar to do this.
Okay.
They don't have like scabbards or anything for their scimitars. They just have to drop them.
Can I underhand toss the rock to him?
You can.
Yeah. I'd like to underhand toss the rock to him.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
as he
so-
as Ruka does
then
that, I'll
catches
kind
him.
of say you should use this stone in Goblin. It's much more useful than the one you're using right now.
Nork don't need help.
That's a pretty good persuasion roll.
But Nork agree it would be better. But Nork thought of it.
And then keeps hitting the stone on the flint.
I give him a solemn nod to that.
Yeah, just of course, of course.
Going, and he's like, ding, ding, ding. He's trying to get it and everything. And he's not realizing that he's only got 3 logs.
Ugh.
He's like,
Nork can do this.
Just any chance you've got some more wood for this?
More wood?
Mm-hmm.
3 log, not enough?
More is better.
He walks back to the warg, and he forgot about like the Tinder's pouch. And he pulls out some nice fluffy wood shavings. And he puts them in the logs. He just and it just like catches, and the ember starts to go, and he's just like, ah, what Nork do?
Congratulations, you made fire.
Ah! And then he's like, and he's like blowing on it to try and put it out, and it's just making it worse.
Stop it.
And he's just like, ah! And he picks up the 3 logs and like moves them away from under the chain. Like while it's still smoldering. And he puts it down. And as he puts it down, it slowly starts to catch before it actually like fully comes up. And Ruka, Raylor, Callian, you definitely get the heat from that fire. It's nice. It's a model. You get like
great.
You're getting like bits of it, but like when you're facing away from that fire, like your back is still freezing.
Right.
But then everyone else can't quite get the heat off the fire, and Nork is like,
Nork did good job.
Yeah, I'll kind of nod at him, give him a thumbs up.
Nork like when he can trust prisoners.
and like gives the gross goblin smile again.
Mm. I try to hide my cringe.
Roll stealth.
Of course. Got it.
You hide that cringe. Nork's just like he walks away with a smile, and then as he gets past Barth, he just like pushes Barth into the ground again. And there's just a and the goblins seem to be just like doing their own thing, and the march has stopped. You guys are sitting, and the fire's going. They don't really seem to.
Mm-hmm.
Can Milo move from the front to close to the damn fire? About them freaking out.
You get up to move, and the goblins, they legitimately don't seem to care of the fact that you're setting up.
Yeah, so if the fire's over here, Milo is going to about as much of the chain as he can before like getting stopped by the chain link between him and Alneth to get as close to the fire as he can.
Oh yeah, the fire is basically like it's basically here, and so you can move about 5 feet. So like with that chain, so like yeah, about the chain's about that length, so you can get there before like the chain, the chain of Alneth is just sort of like getting torque and unable to move kind of thing.
If you don't mind, I'd not freeze my britches off. Perhaps we move closer to the fire, my associates.
Yeah. It's a model. You might have to move there, but yeah, and then you get like that, and you're all getting real nice and close and huddled, and the guys are all like coming in, getting this, and they're all going around the fire, and
The gang's all here.
you notice that the goblins, they seem to be all huddling around the warg for warmth.
I mean, the warg might actually be better.
Yeah.
Here's a hint: it is. But the point is that you guys aren't freezing now. You actually do have some nice warmth too, and it seems like it'll last a decent amount of time.
I'm gonna take some snow and cup in my hand and kind of have it close to the fire so I can get some drinking water.
Yeah, you're able to do that. You're able to pick up some snow. You actually put it there. It melts rather quickly, and it's fairly clean and fresh, and you just like drink from it. And you probably haven't had like a good solid drink in probably a good 6 to 7 hours. And so it's just like as soon as that moisture sort of like touches your lips, you're just like like a Mountain Dew refreshing. So let's deal with everyone in here like that, and then Raylor is just going to be the odd one out. All right, down they come. Is Raylo moving closer to the fire?
Yeah.
Alright, well, Milo, now that he is finally warming up, he can feel the feeling return to his fingers. He's going to begin just kind of examining his chains more carefully in the flickering firelight. Just really takes thought and says, he can get out of here because this situation does not serve his purpose at all.
I want to put some of the chain in the fire and heat it up and till it gets red, and then put it in the snow and keep trying to break it.
You put the chain in the fire, but it just seems that the fire at the moment is just like not hot enough to like it definitely makes the chain hot to the touch, but like every time you go to pull it out to check if it's getting like any more amount hotter, it just seems to be getting ridiculously hot. Like it just seems to be getting hot to the touch without actually heating up the metal too hard. Not to mention Ruka.
Mhm.
These chains have been killing you, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
These
Try not
metal
to draw
chains,
attention to it.
they're getting to you, buddy. They're giving you the heebie-jeebies. Yeah, so the goblins are all let's just goblins are all huddled around the warg, having a good old time.
I'll kind of call out to Nork and Goblin and be like, why don't you come join your friends by the fire?
Roll a persuasion on that one.
Oh my god, your persuasion roll.
Fucking man.
He looks to the nice warm. He looks to the nice warm warg and to the fire. He gets up. He looks around at the goblins to make sure that they're all doing their own thing and they're not going to comment. And he hesitates, but he does get there. And he sort of like puts his hands out to the fire.
I kind of nod at him. Thumbs up.
Very nice. He puts like a pinky up, and then goes wait, and then puts the thumb up. And Raylo, you hear a quiet whisper from the woman next to you.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be talking to that goblin if I were you.
I kind of scowl at her.
That
Try not
dispute's
to-
going to get real.
I don't say anything back.
She doesn't keep talking. She like,
Mhm.
she didn't look at you. She just sort of like said it while looking at
Yeah.
the fire, trying to keep herself warm.
Right.
And then the older man looks to you, Ruka, and goes, yes. So why'd you get captured?
If I'm telling the truth, I got lost.
Yeah, I wish that was the same with us. The only person actually in the group, I believe, who knows, who saw these three get captured and shackled is Callian, I believe. Callian was the first person in the chain line. We were traveling from Episk, and let's just say what we thought was gonna be a slow, non-violent travel turned into quite the one. We were under-equipped. I'm the only nobleman's guard that was in that cart. Let's be honest here, I'm falling out of my goddamn prime. But I tell you what, Ulfric over there, and he points to the noble just like sitting there, keeping to himself, just trying to keep warm. He's got some fight in him. He definitely knows what he's doing. Well, sometimes I think he's a better fighter than I am.
Well, that'd be very nice to see some full martial combat. And when I was examining his shackles, are they like tight to the wrist, or they have like some give to them?
I mean, they've got some give like around your wrist, but like as soon as you sort of like pull them to your hand, they get tight, kind of thing. If you know what I mean. Like you're able to sort of like slide them up and down like the probably like the good inch of your wrist. But like other than that, there's not too much movement.
If I were to Milo to take some snow and get that like melt on his wrist area, just to make his hand wet, is it possible he could attempt to try and subtly slip out one hand, or are they too tight to that?
You would require someone else to like put that snow within it, but you're welcome to give it a try and attempt it. It is definitely tight, so you would be pulling against it with the snow, but you're more than welcome to give it a go if you want.
Well, I don't know how I do that with Cap sitting right here now. Someone had to invite him over.
Speaking of Nork, Nork looks to Raylor, and in Goblin says,
You Nork's friend?
Raylor just says, of course. We've been through a lot together. And I'll kind of go sit down next to him.
I mean, you gotta pull your shackles.
Oh, that's right. Fuck, never mind.
And as you like get up to go, there's just the thing, and then the kink as the woman next to you is less than interested in standing up.
Right.
And Nork looks to you and goes,
So if you Nork's friend, help Nork kill Spleen.
And in Goblin, I just say, do you want to take Spleen's warg?
Nork want to be in charge. Nork better than Spleen. Spleen smell like warg crap.
I'll nod my head and say, I think Nork would be a great leader.
roll persuasion with advantage.
Oh boy. Alright, here we go. Oof.
Nork like hesitates at first before he like smiles with the gritted smile and just,
Yeah, Nork would make a good leader.
I'll kind of say, maybe you can get Barf or one of the other goblins to help.
Barf too useless. Barf like kissing Spleen's ass.
Is this all in Goblin still?
yes, this is all still going on in Goblin.
Yeah, I'll agree with him. I'll just nod my head silently. I'll say, maybe you should see if you can go talk to some of the other goblins, see if they have any thoughts about Spleen.
So who's the one talking in Goblin? Is that Ruka or Raylor?
Raylor.
Raylor. Yeah. Raylor down the bottom. Nork looks at you, Raylor, and just nods and is like,
Yeah. Good idea.
And sort of like moves back and talks to one of the goblins.
Alright.
You just started a mute.
Well, now with him over there,
The mutiny was already going.
with him over there, Milo is going to now subtly lean over to the person next to him. Just now that he's finally gone, can you do me a favor? Some snow and slip under my shackle. I want to try and maybe see if I can't split myself loose here.
I'll give it a try. Try and pack snow as he specified under it. I always knew gnomes were strange, but I could definitely see
That's
why.
generalization, but
It's a little bit rape, even.
Callian?
Yeah.
You definitely know from the 12 days you've been here. There were more when you got captured.
More goblins?
No. More people in the line in the places of these people.
Yeah, I mean,
And you know that they have very well murdered someone for being out of their shackles. Whether you choose to share this information with the party or not is up to you.
I'm gonna whisper. If you want to die right now, go ahead, take it off. If you want to take it off, we should all take it off at the same time. Bring a surprise attack. But if it's just you, you won't stand a chance.
it's that. But I do have something a bit flashy that could definitely warm those goblins up.
So the sun is sort of beginning to fall. And as it's falling in the sky, and the light sort of, dims, the wind kicks up, and it gets quite cold. But this fire is just keeping you through. And,
I'd like to try something.
yeah, sure. What do you want to try?
Over the progression of the hours, I would like to put the chain on the fire itself, and then quickly remove it and dump a bunch of snow on it, switching between hot and cold to weaken the metal.
Yeah.
And I'll let others do it over the line over the course of the hours, so all the chains are equally weakened, possibly.
The fire's been going for a work now. You are able to get it in. It is the chain's getting hotter than when it's a model tried it. Just from the buildup of coals now, but it still doesn't seem to be enough that you're considerably weakening the metal itself. It just seems that the temperature you're dealing with just doesn't seem to be enough because of the surrounding cold, just sort of the moisture in the air and stuff, just sort of preventing that the fire to really give out an oomph of heat for that metal.
I'll keep trying it anyway. It's the only thing I can really think of at the moment.
Yeah, Milo, as soon as the snow melts and his wrists slippery, he's gonna give at least one attempt.
They are most certainly more lubricated than before. If you're gonna pull your hand, attempt to, are you pulling both or one hand out of the channel?
Just one.
Or attempting to? Just one. Roll me strength athletics.
Can I attempt to aid him in a way? Try and keep it.
Yes.
This is
Yes,
just
you
read out.
can.
This is not gonna work.
You can do it with advantage because Alneth is.
That is because I was exhausted.
You pull it, and you're trying to pull as hard as you can, and even Alneth starts to grab the central bar to the shackles. Essentially, the way the shackles work is it just seems to be one long chain with a bar going through it and two tubes of metal that your hands are going through. So you're essentially in the middle of the chain kind of thing. It's going through the middle of the chain, except Milo, you're on the end, obviously you're the last chain, or you're at the start, I guess, the front. So you're on a like a frontmost chain link. But yeah, like Alneth even like holds the center bar to try and like pull it off you as well, and it's just you get to like about midway on your palm, and like your thumb is like jammed like under between your palm and the cylinder. But it's just like once it gets to there, it just like stops budging as if the snow's just sort of not gotten all the way up into that, and you just sort of have to push your hand back up into it to put it back on normally. But it definitely seems that would be doable. Given enough preparation and like strength to pull your hand through.
All right. Well, doing his best to just kind of lean into the fire, make it like he's just warming his hands up again. Seems if we apply a little spring outside of our shackles and do more than enough oomph, yeah, most certainly try to slip out of our bonds.
Is there a keyhole in our shackles?
There is. There is a keyhole, but it's kind of a confusing keyhole. So essentially what it is there is a keyhole, like there is a circular keyhole on each like chain that's encasing the bar that holds your that is your shackles, and as if like the key were to go in, turn to the right, and that would then open the thread up so that it can be then twisted and taken off the chain so you can pull the shackle out. But these shackles don't seem to be actually like have been meant to come off without being cut off.
Okay.
Do you leave the scimitar over here?
He didn't bring his scimitar over.
No, damn it.
Yeah, no, he when he was coming to the fight, the Norg, with the Warg. If nobody goes to sleep now, around this hour, then you will suffer a level of exhaustion.
Yeah, Milo's he's done today. If he's warm, he's gonna again clear out some snow and then just curl up.
I was saying Elvish to Railer. I don't know what you and your friend are planning, but if anything, you should get him to be angry that Spleen took the bone from him. And then I'm gonna go to try and bed down.
That's the plan.
Before I go to sleep, I want to stuff as much snow as I can into the keyhole.
What was that you're doing? Pushing the keyhole?
I'm going to try to stuff as much snow as I can. Like pack it.
With the sort of the angle that it's at in your hands being so straight, you actually aren't able to sort of like reach around to get that snow in your hand. But if you prod someone else, I'm sure that'd be easy to, throw it in.
I'll ask the Tabaxi.
Like you had it in.
Okay. Do I know his name? Do I know the name of him?
It depends if you guys have introduced yourselves like in character. That would literally be 100% up to you guys as like characters.
Would you have introduced yourself to me?
Yeah, I mean we've been stuck together for days, so I assume we have some functional level of familiarity with everyone close.
Okay. Hey, I'll just call you Itza because it's shorter. Hey, Itza. Can you
I stare at you like I don't know, like you're speaking a foreign language.
It's Matul. Cat friend.
Yeah.
Can you stuff some snow into this keyhole right here, just as much as you can?
I don't know. I've got what is it? Thieves tools, proficiency. Does that seem like it would make any difference for trying to get a lock off?
Not without thieves' tools.
No, but I mean, does it seem like like stuffing snow into it would help?
I mean, to get it off, possibly not.
My logic is that water expands when it freezes, so I was hoping to get snow in there, and then we'll just all freeze together a bit more.
That seems like it would disable the lock, but you wouldn't be able to get it off. It would make it harder to get it off.
Okay, never mind.
Like, I know in real life, if you want to make it impossible for someone to unlock their door, you just put water in it and it'll freeze. But that doesn't mean it just can't unlock it.
I mean, it's up to you if you push the snow into this lock.
Yeah, and if you're trying to rust it out, that's a pretty long-term plan.
No, I'm not trying to rust it out. I was trying to hopefully maybe break the mechanism in hopes of getting out. But
Seems like, look, we've got numerical superiority over the goblins. If we can get them in any kind of position that we could overpower them, it seems like the best way to do it.
I kind of... Raylor will kind of, under his breath, try to whisper to, I guess, the group around the fire. I've got a plan in the works. There will be a mutiny, hopefully soon. When that happens, we can work together to get out of this.
Nork will need some allies. That's not just us.
Yeah,
I'm
trying to get him to be a little more proactive here.
Well, he's specifically hated by one other goblin, so they're...
Right.
Maybe you could get two more, and then you got a warg, who's probably the smartest person in their group.
Yeah, Nork's not the brightest, but I'm trying to get it into his head. He needs allies.
Okay, why don't we have him fight Barf, and then, we'll give him some tips to beat him. Because he always loses. But if we give him some tips, he can take advantage and beat him to submission.
Samuel's gonna look over at Raylor. So, what is your plan?
Raylor just kind of looks at him. Why is your voice so deep? No, I'm just kidding.
Because I already died, I reckon.
It's Batman.
Oh no!
Where are the drugs going?
Where is she?
Where's the goblin? Where's the goblins?
I'll basically say, first of all, I'll try to encourage Nork to find some goblin allies outside of Barf. But if that doesn't work yet, I'll try and maybe train him a bit, give him some pointers so that he can, I guess, murder Barf, show his superiority, and gain some followers that way. Goblins love strength, clearly.
All you need is a bit of leverage. You can take down a big guy like myself.
I would go with the simplest plan is the best. They're dumbasses. We trick them into getting close enough, and 3 or 4 of you dogpile them, take out a couple, and then we got a couple of swords, and I can kill people with words, so then we deal with the rest.
Kill people with
words. That's definitely a plan B, but I feel like that's a riskier proposition than getting them to lower their own numbers and then enact that plan to get them.
Again,
I don't think hurting their feelings will really do anything.
I feel like that's like a long-term, a long con versus a short con. And I almost died today just walking through the snow, so...
Looking at you, I would expect you to be a little bit more hardier to the temperature.
We're a tropical people, not an Arctic people.
Yes, I'm a regular leopard, not a snow leopard.
Yeah, my dark coloration should be a hint I don't live in the snow.
Camouflage is not my speciality. Yeah, so you guys
goes rough terrain.
You guys sort of finish discussing, and then you go to bed, and sort of bud down. But as everyone's sort of getting into a position, the noble sort of looks up to everyone. Just he'll be coming tomorrow. You better be on your best behavior.
What?
Or he'll
Huh?
kill you. And then he goes and just goes to sleep.
What did he actually say? I kind of missed.
He said he'll be coming tomorrow. You better be on your best behavior. Or he will kill you. So, you guys all sleep, you get a long rest?
We recover from exhaustion.
You do? You do. And you recover those points of exhaustion. Well, I mean, recover a point of exhaustion, so if you get an additional one, whoever's at 1 is still at 1.
But you don't recover from 1, you only go from like 2 to 1?
Yes.
Oh.
No, you'll only recover 1 point of exhaustion. Not
Okay.
yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
I was confused. I was just like, if I'm ultra
Yeah.
mega tired, I should get less rest than, being kinda tired.
Yeah, so you guys wake up, and whoever sort of wakes up first, you immediately notice that the fire's been, fire has been quenched. It's gone. The logs have been, have seemed to be, they're only like small logs, seem to have been eaten through. And the goblins are already poking and prodding for you guys to get back in your goddamn line.
I'll kind of look for Nork, try to catch his eye, and just nod at him in a knowing way.
But instead of being like menacing music, like romantic music plays, so we all get the wrong idea.
He Raylor and then almost immediately just looks away to try and act as if like nothing's happening.
Mhm.
Not like a he doesn't want to do it. More like a he doesn't want suspicion to grow.
Right.
But yeah. So the day gets on. They crack their whips and they demand that you stand in this line and get back up. So everyone get back in your lining positions. It doesn't matter how close you are, as long as you're walking and you're within that like 5-foot sort of distance buffer of the chain.
Wake up the noise, the head of the pack!
Like, fucking shake him awake.
Alright.
The war goes to the back. Each and every goblin now walking beside, Barf and Nork in the front. They're having a good day, and they begin the march. And about 2 hours in. So if everybody could make me 2 Constitution saving throws.
Brutal.
Oh Jesus!
Jesus.
Good lord!
So we're all gonna be
Not bad, I guess.
Yeah,
we-
probably would have just been easier to roll at advantage.
Yeah, that's what I decided. I figured.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll just go from the top. Yep, Callian, you gain only 1 point of exhaustion from that. Itamato is you gain a point of exhaustion. Samuel doesn't. Alneth, you gain 2 points of exhaustion.
Oh my god.
Miley, you gain 2 points of exhaustion. Ruka, you gain 1 point of exhaustion, and Raylor suffers none.
So,
and
front of the
Itamato
front
gets
line
to-
is literally moving at 10 feet per round, so.
Well, you're getting pretty exhausted. You were basically walking that slow anyway. Like it was not like you guys weren't marching at full speed kind of thing. But everyone roll perception.
19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19
And those who need to be at disadvantage, be at disadvantage.
They're at disadvantage?
Yes.
Of course, that's when I get the amazing roll.
Man, these rolls really aren't being kind to you. Kind to you, it's a model. You're out of your tropical nature.
Out of your depth.
The snow. Oh, there you go. Okay, so Raylor, Ruka, Callian, and Milo, you all notice in the distance, and this is in quite the distance. There is a figured silhouette on a horse galloping towards this goblin march. And it takes a bit to get there before it gets close enough that everyone notices. And the noble he pokes up and just says, "He's here. Don't look him straight in the eye. He'll beat you within an inch of your life. Don't you worry."
What does this guy look like? My 20% before he gets into.
What does he look like?
Yeah.
Before he gets in, the wind's sort of picking up. So if you want to roll me another perception roll, just to sort of get some distinct features, because he is on horseback at the moment as well. He's like plenty. He's like, hey, yay big, yay what? On horseback at the moment, he seems rather wrapped in cloth, as if he's worn. There doesn't seem to be an inch of skin actually showing. He's got a hood over his head and what seems to be some form of mechanical face.
It's a medium-sized creature.
With yes, it is a medium-sized creature, galloping upon a horse, upon a stallion. And then the horse arrives, and he gets there, and he looks over at everyone, and if anyone's looking at, he will keep looking at you. If anyone's making direct eye contact with him, he stares at you, and you see this grimace, just mechanical face of these optic eyes with glass in them, and they're twisting to sort of zoom a little bit and everything like that. And he goes to the goblin on the wall, pulls him aside and begins to speak with him and talk, but it's not within earshot. So the marching order sort of stops, and Nork comes over to Raylor. He goes, "Hey," and he says it in Goblin. "Hey."
I say it back, wondering what's up.
I got us a goblin.
Who'd you get?
I got Mush.
Is he any good?
He's the young guard over there."
And he points to the goblin right here.
How about the others?
Rot's getting old, and well, Barf's basically retarded.
Let's say maybe you can get Mush to help you get rid of Barf.
Mush wants spleen spot.
Mm-hmm.
I made him an offer he can't refuse.
Maybe you could get Mush and Barf to get rid of each other for you, and then you take spleen spot.
Barf is nothing. Barf is chump change where we're going.
I'll just say I heard the other goblins saying that they think Barf would be the best leader.
Roll deception at advantage.
God damn it! Okay.
At advantage. You get
Yeah,
advantage.
you
'Cause he's already been persuaded by you. Like he's
Yeah.
already at that level where you're believable. He just sort of like looks and goes, let me just roll his insight.
Is he really gonna insight this? He trusts him.
No, like just like a base insight kind of thing. I'm rolling at a disadvantage because he's not like looking for it. But if it like sticks out like a sore thumb, you know. He rolled a 1 though, so it's okay.
Sorry about that.
Did they really?
I'll say, yeah. I guess Barf just seems like the better guy.
You
That's what I was
take that
saying.
back.
Yeah. Not to me, to
You
them.
said, I never did like Drow.
I'll say, I thought we were friends here.
We are friends. Friendly banter. Friendly banter.
Of course.
Yes. Here. I have idea. He goes, hey, Mush.
And Mush like walks over, comes on the other side, and he's like,
What? Remember how I told you last night? We can take over Spleen's spot?
Yes.
Yeah? What about it? Well, this is the buddy I was talking to you about. I told you I got connections.
and Mush like looks at like they're clearly not scrawny drow, but like the you know like
Yeah, lies.
like the in common clothes, clearly not in a position of power. So I think he goes, and he leans to the right to look around you and look at Nork and just be like,
You've been hanging out with Barf too much. He goes, no. While Zed speaks with Spleen, right. We knock out the warg, so that it can't come and defend him, and then we kill him and take it for ourselves.
Mush looks around and goes,
You're retarded.
I'll just ask, what do you guys know about Zed?
They
Kind of in a
both
hushed
look at each
whisper.
other. They both look at each other and just shrug.
Hey,
Great.
he comes every 12 cycles and he talks to Spleen and I don't know what about. But every now and again he'll take the most exotic of the prisoners with him, but other than that, there's not really anything.
I just kind of nod and say, maybe we should wait until he's gone before you make any moves, right?
Oh yeah, he's got magic blade. Really scary. He hit my uncle with it once. Did this weird thing. He couldn't speak. They call his blade the tongue biter.
So I hear Itzamatel's whisper in Elvish, and I'll kind of usher the goblins closer, and I'll say, I've got a friend down the line, says he has some poison that you might be able to use.
What? Didn't we search them?
I don't know. Cats are tricky creatures.
So it was the cat.
Ooh, you just ratted
Yep.
him out.
I'm not about to rat myself out. That's for sure.
And he looks around you again to Mush and he goes,
Go talk to the cat. Get that poison.
I'll say.
Mush is just,
All right.
I'll say he wants to get in on this job.
and Mush slowly walks over to Itzamardel and looks up and goes,
Poison cat. Where's the poison?
Yes. I found it just now, lying on the ground. Yeah, I wanted to use it.
Roll deception with disadvantage.
Found it lying on the ground. Oh my god!
Wow.
Who the hell leaves poison on the... Whatever, just give it here.
And he's just got his hand, he's got his little gangly hand out with like misshapen nails and everywhere, just holding it there for you to place the poison vial
I
in
will
it.
try and subtly pass it to him and try and give him the hint that you don't want everyone to see him.
Roll stealth. Yeah, there you go. That beats out basically everyone's passive perception. Except one. Only one. Do you hear from the distance?
What's that?
Is that Zed?
You're not quite sure where the voice came from, but it didn't sound like a goblin. And this seemingly mechanical man with a very ornate-looking rapier at his side walks up to Mush and its Immortal.
What did you hand to each other?
One minute.
Yeah, think of something, quick.
No, I just got called to lock the front door. That's all.
There you go.
I found some herbs on the ground and I was volunteering them to my captor.
Oh god.
He looks down at Mush, and then looks at you. Goes,
Don't try and deceive me.
and all he does is just walk away. He does nothing. He just walks back to Spleen and continues to talk with him. And then Mush was like,
Oh, that was close.
and anyone else who's like looking, yellow snow is slowly it has slowly accumulated in mush, underneath Mush. Very clearly has gone like around Mush. Note that that when and this is he got really close to you. It's a model, like he got in your face. It is very clearly a metallic mask with like a fanged open mouth, and underneath the open mouth is like a cloth, so you can't see the face underneath. But it's still a mechanical mask nonetheless. But Mush, holding the poison now, is like,
I will cherish this.
and he walks it back.
Before that happens,
Yes.
I'm just gonna whisper, not looking at Mush. Try putting it into the warg's food.
And Mush like looks at himself, and he's like, "Oh no."
That's not a good. Yeah, all right, I'll give it a go.
And he comes back to Raylor, and he's like,
All right, I got the goods. So when's this going down?
When Zed is gone. When does he leave?
Nork like chimes in like,
Oh god.
He's really inconsistent. He comes every 12 days, but, well, I mean, he's never really stayed more than a day, but sometimes, you know, when the prisoners are, you know, they're getting a bit antsy and they don't really want to go with him, he gets a bit angry. Sometimes he kills them, sometimes he just, like, you know...
So you're saying he takes the prisoners with him?
He takes one prisoner. Usually the exotic ones, like Catman.
Gotcha. So not too important then. All right.
Yeah, I mean, we're not sure what he does with him. But he preferably wants them alive. If he kills them, right here, he gets angry and he leaves. Sometimes he'll kill a goblin or two. He killed my uncle.
Right.
He can kind of be a little bit explosive.
You know, it might be a better idea to try and get that into the warg's food early. Maybe tonight even, so that it can affect it. You know, over time.
Mush and Nork like look at each other and say,
Good plan. Good plan.
and they're like,
All right, we gotta bounce. We got goblin things to attend to.
Of course, yeah.
and then Mush like lazy,
Peace, brother.
I just got a nod.
and he goes back, and then Nork's like,
He thinks he's cooler than he actually is.
I agree.
He was my adoptive brother.
You're
tell
way
him.
cooler.
We don't tell him he's adopted. Thanks,
Jesus.
friend.
and he puts a hand out to like high five.
It's like I just ignore him. Like I kind of cower, as if he's about to hit me.
No. High five.
I can't. Nope. I can't do that. Got chains on my hands.
He also like looks at his hand. He goes,
High four.
as he realizes he now only has 3 fingers.
Ugh. Gross.
He's like, oh. And he's like,
Never mind.
Yeah.
And he walks back to where Barf is, pushes Barf, and then goes back to sort of like watching the front. And whilst this conversation is going down between Spleen and Zed, the volume sort of turns up as you hear him yelling.
If I don't get what I want, I'll murder every damn one of you.
And then he walks to the line of prisoners with Spleen very clearly cowering. There's just a trail of yellow snow from Spleen where he started to walking with Zed. And he walks past. Did anyone want to give me an Arcana check?
I'm
I
not
can't.
proficient.
Alright, yeah, how about we work it like this? Anyone who's proficient with Arcana, give me an Arcana check. As he's walking up and down this line. It's not you're not gonna notice this, but Milo, as he walks past, he has a strong musky smell of what seems to be abjuration magic. Like there's a distinct smell of abjuration.
And describe to me what abjuration smells like.
It's just more. It's more like the connections with his metal, like infused with the magic, just sort of like gives off a specific smell that you know to be like what abjuration spells tend to waft of. Kind of like how necromancy spells tend to smell really bad.
Oh, I mean, that's a matter of opinion there.
And like evocation is like, oh, it's magic, you know. Like it's
Of
just
course,
like
that's
spicy.
the smell.
you know,
The smelly
that's
smell.
the spicy smell.
The
But
smelly
yeah.
smell that smells.
But yeah, the abjuration, like it just sort of like has an abjuration tinge to it. Like it's got a magical, like it's got the smell of sort of, of that kind of thing. And he kind of reeks of it. But he walks back down the line. And he looks towards Itzamadel.
You. What's your name?
Cat here.
Who? Me? Who?
Cat. What's your name?
No, no one.
I'm not here to play these games, Cat.
It's not a game. Where I'm no one.
You'll be dead.
Could be. I already am to some people.
He places his hand on his rapier blade, and he pulls it out about an inch. He is also about a foot taller than you, with all of the goblins shuddering around.
How tall is he compared to me?
He's shorter than you, but he's taller than Itzamadel.
Okay.
Like he's around the 6 foot range, but he's not nearly taller than 6'8".
I don't know what answer you want. I'm telling you the truth.
And he looks to you, Colleen, and goes,
You've been with him for days. Is he telling the truth?
What did he say his name was? No one? Right?
Yeah, that's what he told him.
From what I can tell, that's all he is.
Much appreciated.
and he walks further down the line past Itzamadel. And he gets to the noble. He leans down a bit.
Well, well. Ulfric Vale. Thought you'd be eating grapes in Sunderfell by now. Looks like you're kissing ass in snow. I like watching the rich weep.
And he like full on slugs him with the bottom of his rapier just in the stomach, and it's just an immediate just as he just drops to the ground.
You all know what's good for you. You'll let me take him. But as per usual, I'll leave it up to you. You have a day. You get to vote on who I take with me. Can't decide? I choose. I'll return come sunrise.
And he waltzed back to his horse, straddles it, and hoofs into the horizon. What are you gentlemen gonna do?
Do I recognize the name of that noble?
Same here, yeah.
You all recognize the name of the house, but not the name of the noble himself. You recognize the Vale House. Let me just quickly read you the thing that I actually have written for it, for when someone asks that question. Ooh! The Vale family has been a reigning noble house over the icy northern reaches of the continent for generations. Although not as materially rich as other noble houses within Yggdrasil, the Vale House owns the majority of towns and settlements of the north. However, unlike noble houses who stay planted, Vale family members make an effort to travel between towns to grasp a sense of what their communities are achieving. They own the north, basically. No dorm included.
Are they seen as benevolent, or are they seen as tyrannical?
No, the Vale House is actually one of the it's one of the few noble houses in Yggdrasil that are actually considered or that are actually held to a high regard by all citizens. What's everyone gonna do?
I'm gonna ask the noble, what do you know about this guy?
I don't know. I just know he came. One of the guys that was here before me. Your friend there knew him, kind of.
Wait, you asked what does he know about him, didn't you? And you've been there for 12 days.
I have.
Yeah. So he actually says to everyone, I don't know much, but I just know he comes every 12 days. Remember you guys talking about it when you came in. Don't know how he knows me though. Tell you one thing. I don't like his attitude.
Yeah, I give him like a duh look when he says that.
Well, I mean, how about we all just vote for him to take you, and he can skin you like the cat you are.
Keep talking, little man.
He's taller than you.
I'm talking about spirit.
What? Oh, right,
Talking
yeah,
about
okay. No,
spirit.
yeah, I thought you
He's
were
a
referring to
little-
spirit
he's
as a
little
person.
man.
And I was like, yeah, right. He just looks at you and goes, well, at least you're optimistic. If you guys are staging a mutiny like I'm hearing, you want to do it fast. Either
No.
within the day that he's gone.
I give him another duh look.
I'm gonna. Is Barf looking in our direction, or is he just kind of like picking his nose like the idiot that he is?
Oh yeah, he's looking off. He's looking off into the horizon. Like picks his nose. He like goes to eat it, and then he's like, wait, and then he like picks his asshole and eats it.
Oh no!
Oh,
God! Though with a very repulsed look, like Buff.
He turned around. He's like got his finger in his back. Right?
I wave my finger like, come here.
Where? All right. He walks over. He's just, what do you want?
I'll get close, and I've been hearing some of the other conversations that have been going on, and it sounds like Spleen wants to get rid of you. He's afraid that you're too strong for him to control anymore.
He looks at his clearly smaller figure and he's like, what?
He's going to blame you for me having the bone, so he can get rid of you. You're a threat to him.
What? No. What do I do?
Well, if Spleen's going to be a main threat and try and blame you, you could try and help it keep quiet. I hear Nork and Mush are trying to defend you and keep you from being blamed by that.
Nork? Yeah, right. Nork don't like barf.
He may not.
Nork, big asshole.
No, Nork may be a big asshole, but he still knows that you're stronger than Spleen.
Nobody really knew why Spleen was in charge, and I guess you're right. What do you think I do?
If you get the opportunity, you should strike at Spleen when you get the chance. If there's any squabbling or an opportunity while he's asleep, or even a small fight, you should get rid of Spleen and take the warg for yourself and show that you are the right one to be leading, as you're stronger.
I guess. All right. Yeah. Thanks.
Don't let him blame you.
You want a snack?
He like picks his asshole and puts his finger out.
Oh, you enjoyed that. It worked out for.
Thank you. And he walks away.
Oh God.
He's
Horrifying.
he's a very interesting goblin. That's to say the least.
Sneezing your snot with a little bit of ass. Maybe a little bit like chafe to dry skin.
Yeah. Yeah, like just the puckering is all dry. Like you know when you get chapped lips?
Uh-huh. Chapped ass.
Chapped ass. Chapped sphincter. And I think we'll leave off there. With you guys pending that vote to see who gets taken.
Who gets voted off the island?
Who gets voted off the island.
Shit.
I vote Elvish lady that told me I was an idiot for trying to start a mutiny.
She's seemingly kept quiet the majority of the time as well.
Yeah. But
yeah,
she
we
seems
will-
unimportant.
throw her overboard.
Yeah, vote the NPCs off the island.
The NPCs.
Fuck that bitch. She didn't help at
She
all.
was rude.